And hello and welcome to episode 4 of Golden Bear Insider. Dan Flanagan, happy you could join us here this month as we've wrapped up all the fall sports seasons. Want to thank those coaches and student athletes again for their time. Enjoyed talking to them over the last few months. Going solo here this month as Tom Rebelke unable to join us for this edition. He should be back in January, but going to have a pretty basketball heavy show. Happy to get into the winter sports. We're going to talk some track and field as well, but first off, joined by men's basketball head coach Joey James, also John Sobaski, and thank you both very much for giving us some time here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And as you look at the season right now, certainly not quite the start you would have wanted, and losses in the first 2 conference games here this past weekend. Do you feel the team is making some progress from where you were at in those early exhibition games to where you are right now?
Right now, I would say I don't mind us on the offensive end. We can definitely score some more points in some areas. I mean, we're missing some easy shots. We're not shooting as well as I thought we would have at this point. But defensively is where we got to continue to improve. That's where I think the biggest disappointment is for us right now. And so once we clean that side of it up, I think we can start improving what we're doing.
What are the specific areas you're looking to improve defensively? I know it was quite a hallmark of the team last year.
Yeah, so I would say on the ball defense, our ball screen, when teams come and set ball screens on us, I think our backside rotation is poor at times. And then, we're just not getting in the gaps. Our help side is just very, very poor. We don't do a very good job of controlling penetration. When teams start getting downhill on us, our transition defense is just average. It can definitely improve. But I do like our rebounding right now. I think that's one area that we've continued from a year ago that I like. But everything else on that defensive end is something that we've got to get better at. And our guys know that. I don't think they'll waver on it. But that's something that we've got to continue to improve as this season goes on. Otherwise, it's going to be a long year for us.
John, your sophomore season, how did you find kind of the preparation this year, having a year under your belt now in this Northern Sun?
I felt like I had a lot more, I wouldn't say pressure on my shoulders, but I would say I had a bigger role this year than I did last year because Keith and Therese obviously graduated. So I had to step in and play the role of the point guard. And I think I just need to be a leader. Defensively, we need more talking on defense. So I think I can lead in that aspect of it.
What were some of the things you learned from Keith and Therese last year?
Never to take a day off. This man emphasizes it every day. He always says Keith and Therese never took a day off, and I just try to piggyback off what they did last year and bring it into this year.
And, as you look at the games last weekend, Augustana can certainly, expect to be one of the top teams in the league again and ranked number 3 in the country. What did they do well in that game? And, obviously a tough one for you, but you get it early in the season. Can you kind of use some of the things they did as a teaching point?
Yeah, I tell you, offensively, they are extremely explosive. I mean, you saw that against, we watched, some Mankato stuff when they played Mankato along with our game. They're really, really good offensively. They have essentially 3 kids that'll be first-team all-league guys. They got 2 guys in Schilling and Jansen, who I think are potential MVPs of the league. Just very, very good. And then defensively, their size is good, and they cover ground really fast on you. So your ball rotations got to be quick. But I tell you what, that's a national championship team in my opinion. They're very, very good. Are they 38 points or whatever it was better than us? I don't think so. But they are very, very good.
And John, for you, we talk about the defense. Is there anything else you're seeing just kind of being out there on the floor that the team can continue to work on?
In the first half, we're doing a great job of playing defense. And in the second half, it's like we just come out and we don't have any idea what we're doing. We're running around with our heads cut off like chickens, and we just don't bring the effort in the second half like we do in the first. And I think that shows, obviously, if we looked at the box scores, that we're getting outscored in the second half by a lot.
Pretty road-heavy start to the schedule. You guys pretty excited to get back home here this weekend?
Yeah, it'll be nice to protect the home court. Coach always talks about not losing at home, and you just got to make sure to continue that. Obviously, we had a slow start in the beginning with the loss, but I think the next 2 games up ahead are a good test for us.
And Coach, one of your senior leaders, Mike Yonke, out for the first few games with an injury. You were able to start working him back in the lineup. How can he kind of solidify your front court rotation?
Yeah, Mike gives us depth. He gives us size. He gives us physicality up front. I thought Mike pressed himself a little bit last week. He was trying to get into the flow a little too fast instead of allowing the game to come to him. But it's just getting his legs back underneath him again. I think that's the first thing that goes when you're out 4 or 5 weeks. And then trying to get back in rhythm offensively for us. But
But no, Mike can anchor down that middle for us a little bit more. We'll mix him up at both the 5 and the 4 spot, as we move forward here. But we expect him to help us out.
Are you starting to get fairly comfortable with the rotations, groupings on the floor, or are you still looking to make some adjustments there?
Believe it or not, I'm still not comfortable where we're at. And again, we've got 6 newcomers, and so 5 of those kids are freshmen. There's times out there, even Matt Ambrose is a redshirt freshman, but he has no experience. And you can't replace experience. And so there's times when I look down the bench, I'm like, you 3 get in, and they're all freshmen. And then they get in there, and I got to have some patience with some of the mistakes they're making. Right now, we're trying to minimize those mistakes as much as we can, and it's time to grow up and grow up quick. And so, no, our rotations aren't quite set. We're close, but not quite yet.
And you get the 2 games at home this weekend, as I mentioned. One more road conference game after that, an exhibition against St. John's right around New Year's. What's kind of, besides the defense, things you're talking about for the team to take care of those 4 games?
Yeah, we need to take care of the basketball. If you look at our stats, we have 104 turnovers in 7 games, which is essentially about 15 a game. The opponents that we're playing against, the 7 games that we played, I believe they had 68. So that's a big difference. And so we got to take care of the ball. Our possessions got to be better. Our defense has got to continue to pick up. We got to continue to rebound. And we got 2 great challenges this week. And I mean, you talk about night and day difference between 2 teams, style of play and all that stuff. So our guys will be prepared. I really believe that we'll get off this little losing streak and start getting back on track here.
All right, well, we appreciate both of your time, and good luck coming up here this weekend, next few weeks.
Thank you.
So Joey James and John Sobaski here on Golden Bear Insider. Again, episode 4 of the show right here from Buffalo Wild Wings near the Concordia campus. And we will take a quick break, be right back with track and field as you are watching Golden Bear Insider, a stream-powered production.
It was January 14th, 2011, playoff time, when mere mortals fall, but the great ones create their own destiny. Like Barry Patterson and his against all odds Hail Barry. He launched it past the front line, cleared the secondary, and threaded the needle to victory.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Practicing the fundamentals, that's the key to success. At Northwestern Mutual, we focus on proven principles, facing challenges together to help reach your financial goals.
Welcome back to Golden Bear Insider, as Dan Flanagan with you here from Buffalo Wild Wings in St. Paul. Glad you could join us for this December edition of the show. We get into track and field now for the first time this season, joined by head coach Sam Johnson, junior Erica Young as well, and appreciate both of you joining us here today.
Thanks, Dan.
And you got that first meet out of the way this past weekend down in Mankato. You pretty happy with some of the results you got?
Yeah, more than anything, happy to get out of there relatively unscathed injury-wise. Some people a little banged up, but the biggest thing is just getting out early and trying to get the young athletes some experience, get the returning athletes to kind of lead by example on the track when we get there, and just kind of a teaser meet before we go on break for winter here. So.
And always kind of that different schedule. You get the one meet in, then finals, and some of the holiday break. Don't compete again for about a month. And certainly you're balancing the holidays and players' responsibilities as a student, but what kind of things do you look for them to do with that time off?
Well, with the time off during winter break, we really do hope that the athletes are able to get some things done, whether they're staying around campus a little bit or heading home. So we'll give them suggested workouts and things like that, but it's really on their own time to try and get things done.
And Erica, kind of coming off of last season for you, what was your mindset? What big things were you working on to prepare for this season?
Yeah, well, I redshirted last year, so it was kind of a different training schedule for me. But I was, after watching conference last year and seeing some of my teammates like Wakpori Gavoja did really well at multi-conference, so I was just really excited to get into the summer and start training pretty hard, and got some good training this fall. So I'm really excited. I'm happy with the first meet, and ready to see how the season will go.
Is it kind of, especially coming off a redshirt year, a challenge in that first meet to sort of, you're so excited to get back into competition and kind of harness that and still focus in?
Yeah, I mean, I still got to compete in some meets last year, so it wasn't like I haven't been competing, but being a part of having the jersey on again and being able to like represent Concordia was definitely exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time.
And were the results about what you expected there for this first meet?
Yeah, I mean, hurdles didn't go as well as I was hoping, kind of stumbled on one of the hurdles, so I'm still optimistic about that. And the other two, I did long jump and 4x4, which went really well, so I was pleased.
And Coach, overall for you, the team as a whole, did you get results pretty close to what you were thinking going in?
Yeah, I was very pleased with how both of our 4x400 relays ran. I think it's going to be a strength of both the men's and women's team this year. We got great training groups at that long sprint distance, and honestly some pretty high expectations for those teams and those goals that we've now declared publicly, I guess. Got some good work out of Josh Johansson, again in high jump. Went out at a bar that would have broken the school record or tied the school record. So he's going to be a factor right away again this year in high jump. Strength of the women's team is going to continue to be these heptathletes and, well, multi-event athletes that we have, and going to be asking them to do some big things for us throughout the rest of this indoor season. So.
In this first meet, it was down at Minnesota State, obviously a conference opponent. Were there a decent amount of conference teams participating in the meet?
Really, it was just Mankato and University of Sioux Falls, and mixed in some smaller Division III programs. And it's, there was a few less conference schools there than there has been at past. There's just more meets now this week than there typically has been, and schools are deciding to stick a little bit closer to home sometimes. So, but yeah, definitely good to get a preview of those two schools in the conference, because they always bring something to the table. They're always pretty competitive, and it's good to see how we stack up right away.
And Erica, for you, at what point in the season do you kind of look at maybe some of the other teams in your competition, see what they're doing, and kind of how you measure up? Is it a little too early at this point to really pay attention to that?
No, I mean, I'm always trying to see where everyone's at. I mean, I've kind of set higher goals this year, so I've been paying attention more to who is closer to my scores. But I mean, yeah, it's never too early to see what people have been scoring already, and just constantly comparing and looking,
And Coach, you had a couple freshmen that did very well for you in the meet this past weekend. Can you talk a little bit about what they were able to do?
Well, we had David Zadowski, who was a high jumper and long jumper for us, getting his first college experience. Long jump pretty well, high jump didn't go great. But I guess the standout for our male freshman was Muhammad Malim, Concordia male athlete of the week. He's coming off of a redshirt season where he spent last year training with us, and now he really motivated guy. Finally, just like Erica, getting a chance to put on his jersey and represent the team. He came out and ran the 600-meter dash, won it, and ran like a 3 or 4 year veteran, to be honest. I didn't expect him to execute the race quite like he did. And it was fun to watch. And then he anchored our 4x4, which was another great race, executed very well. He ran with poise and confidence that you don't really expect to see from a freshman. So.
And then finally, just looking at the schedule as a whole, I mentioned you get about a month off here now. What are some of the other highlights here on the schedule over the next month or two?
Well, we'll be sticking close to home for the first 3 weeks in January. Two meets at the University of Minnesota, and then a meet on a Friday night at the University of St. Thomas. After that, the team will get out of town and head to UW Stout for a good chunk of the team. Our multi-event athletes will stay in town at the University of Minnesota and compete at the Jack Johnson Classic. That's always a really competitive meet, and we feel that we have the multi-event athletes that can hang in there and would benefit from seeing that high level of competition. So that's kind of what's on tap for January when we come back.
Well, Sam and Erica, appreciate your time here today, and good luck over the next month or so.
All right, thank you.
And that was head coach Sam Johnson, Erica Young, as we discussed the beginning of the track and field season here on Golden Bear Insider. Going to close out the show with women's basketball coming up next. As again, you are watching Golden Bear Insider. It is a stream-powered production.
O'Gara's is a proud sponsor of Concordia Golden Bear Athletics. O'Gara's, come on in.
Everybody loves Green Mill Pizza. Heck, I love our pizza. But hey, you can't eat pizza every day, not even Green Mill Pizza. That's why our menu features nearly 100 made from scratch and made to order dishes for lunch and dinner every day. And it's all available for takeout and delivery. And then again, there is our pizza. Good. Just saying.
Made from scratch, made to order, lunch and dinner every day at Green Mill.
Welcome back to Golden Bear Insider here at Buffalo Wild Wings in St. Paul, just a few blocks away from the Concordia campus on Snelling Avenue. Glad you could join us here for this 4th episode of the show. We wrap it up talking to head coach Paul Fessler, Kyrah Fredenburg from the women's basketball team, and appreciate both of you joining us here today.
Thank you.
And coach of the team getting a couple of pretty big wins here over the past few weeks. You had Michigan Tech at home, a big conference win over Wayne State last weekend. In some of those wins, what has the team done well, especially that you can kind of carry going forward here?
You know, just playing with confidence, being aggressive, attacking, making plays at big moments. Our rebounding's been pretty solid, but they just play fearless basketball, and when we do that, we're pretty good.
You did, after the game against Wayne State, come back against Augustana, drop that next game. Any kind of adjustments that were made for, reasons for the difference there in the two games?
You know, the difference in the two games, you know, we came out, had a good start. We were up 10, and then the second half we were down 10, and then we did a great job of fighting back and tying it up at 69. And, you know, I suppose from there it was probably should have taken a timeout as coaching. That's the biggest reason I can think of. I wish I would have taken a timeout, but no, I'm really pleased with how we're playing. We battle, we fight, we're playing aggressive. There's so many things we can work on, but where we're at right now, we're pretty satisfied.
Kyrah, a big reason for the win against Michigan Tech kind of took away their top scorer, and Danielle Blake. That's something that's sort of been a hallmark of the team. You had the defensive assignment for a good part of that game. You saw some other players doing it last year. What's kind of your mindset when you draw that go-to player? Is that something you get excited for on the defensive end?
Yeah, most definitely. My favorite part of basketball would have to be defense, and it's definitely a want. And to be able to go out and go up against their best player, I mean, there could be nothing better. It's a great challenge, and I'm glad that he has a lot of confidence that I'm able to do that.
How much did you focus on your rebounding going into the season? The team's playing a lot of four-guard lineups. You put up some pretty big rebounding totals here.
I guess, I mean, that's my big part on the team. So, I mean, the best that I can do, I'm going to go out and try to get as many rebounds as I can, especially offense, to get my teammates another opportunity, or if it's defensive rebounds, hopefully push the ball up and just get it going.
Overall, you pretty happy with the way your season's getting started? Any areas you're still looking to improve upon?
Well, I feel pretty confident with my defensive end. Definitely can keep improving on my offense, but it'll come. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how we're doing.
We talked a little bit last month, Coach, about the 4 quarters and some of the differences in the fouling rules and things like that. Overall, you feel the team's adjusting pretty well to those changes?
Yeah, I don't think they've seen any impact or difference. I mean, I don't know what you think, but, you know, I think the adjustment, that's probably what cost me from taking a timeout at tied up, because I was thinking at the end of the game, possession, if less than a minute, we can advance the ball, save my timeouts. If we didn't have that rule in place, I might have taken a timeout. Right now, we don't shoot free throws really well, so I'm really happy with the new free throw rules where we get 2. And it starts back over, so we don't have to start each quarter shooting free throws. We get the ball again. We have to make some improvement there. But no, I don't see an impact. I don't see a difference. It's kind of a nice change, something different from a coaching perspective. The players, I think, you kind of see a restart. Every time you get a fresh quarter, it's like, okay, let's restart and go again. And if we had a bad quarter, it's like a start over. If we, if you have a good quarter, let's keep it rolling. So I think I kind of like the quarter breaks from that standpoint, from a mental approach. But it does take some getting used to, looking up at the clock and seeing only 10 minutes, not 20 minutes, finally getting used to that. The games, to me, seem like they're going a little bit quicker. I don't know what you think from a playing perspective.
Yeah, it depends on the game, I guess. It
Depends
depends
on
on
the
how you're doing. But.
Yeah, when we got whooped pretty bad, that game lasts forever.
Yeah.
Down at Drury. But no, I think we're doing really well. Kyrah right now, I think, I don't know where Pat's at right now, but I think she's leading the league in rebounding. So we got that going for us. She's been doing her assignments well defensively. What's really nice, if we can put her on a weak player and let her roam free and double team and do some things like that, then we get an even better advantage, I think, from that standpoint. One of her goals, we're pushing for a 20 rebound game here sometime. We want to hit that mark. So all in all, we're in pretty good shape.
And you're pretty happy with the way the freshmen are settling in?
Yeah, freshmen are freshmen. Always entertaining, always something new. One of our focuses is communication. Be loud. They're kind of talking now, but you can't really hear what's coming out of their mouths. We got a couple of players, when they call ball screen, they call the same thing every time, but we got 5 different ball screen defenses. So, they got to adjust to what we're doing there. But we're really pleased with their performance, with their will and want to get better. We like where they're at from that standpoint. I think the other thing that we're really pleased with, I am as a coach, is our returners, setting a good example of how to work, how to talk, how to communicate, how to act in the locker room, how to prep for a game. There's a little bit of leadership by example there from every returner. I think has been a positive for our program this year and a positive for our freshmen.
Talked about it a little bit with Joey. It's been a pretty road-heavy start to the season. You get a couple home games now. How important is it to take care of the home floor? You did very well in that tournament around Thanksgiving.
You want that one? Do you like playing at home?
Well, yeah, definitely. I don't know anybody who wouldn't love playing on their home court. But I think we adjust well whether we're at home or away. I think just our mentality is coming and hitting someone hard just right away. I think that we've been fine on the road. But it's going to be nice to be at home for a while now.
It'll be nice not to be in the bus, not to eat out, not to sit around in the hotel room waiting for the games, kind of have your own routine. Everybody can individualize their preparation a little bit better at home. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. But I think the road has helped bring this team's chemistry a little bit closer together. When you are on that bus or are in the hotel or always have to eat out together, you have to learn about each other, you have to talk to each other, and that helps build chemistry.
Get a couple games here, I guess 3 total, the one next weekend before you get into the longer holiday break. Another nationally ranked team coming in this weekend in Winona State. I know you don't want to put too much importance on any one particular game, but is it important to get a little bit of a positive taste going into your mouth heading into that longer break?
Well, you get that longer break, yeah, obviously, you want to win the last game before you go into that break, but from our standpoint, what our players have done a really good job with is taking it, each game is an opportunity to improve. Each practice is an opportunity to improve. And if you work hard and focus on improving, the results will take care of itself and we'll keep getting better. We said all along, get through November, December and grow up together a little bit and develop our skills and our identity, and then we'll be pretty good in January, February. And that's kind of really what we're focused on more in these last 3 games. Keep that improvement, keep that growth taking place, and be ready to go when we come back from the break.
And even though it's still early, are you already starting to see some of the benefits from seeing a team like Iowa State in the exhibition, playing, you mentioned Drury, a nationally ranked team, Michigan Tech, seeing that high level of competition early?
For me, I enjoy it. I want to see us struggle. I want to see how we handle tough situations, if we can bounce back, and I think we've done that. We went on Thanksgiving, played a great Drury team on their home court and got smacked around pretty good, and then we bounced back the next night and beat a pretty good Maryville team. So we have that bounce back mentality, which I think comes from having struggles and how to fight through it. Kyrah, what do you think about playing the tough exhibition schedule?
I think that definitely helped us out a lot because, like we had talked about, like going and playing that, when you come back to playing like the teams that we normally play. I mean, it's not like a totally new game, but it's like, man, we're just ready for it now. Like you almost feel like you can take on anybody, like once you've already experienced it.
All right, well, good luck to you coming up in those next 3 games, and thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Paul Fessler and Kyrah Fredenburg, as we wrap up Golden Bear Insider for this month. Again, we record this show every month here live at Buffalo Wild Wings. We encourage you to come out. I know there is a home team discount program. You mentioned Concordia Athletics. You can get a deal on your meal as well, and great place to come out, see all the games coming up around the holiday season. So definitely check out Buffalo Wild Wings, close to the Concordia campus, Snelling Avenue, right here in St. Paul. And we will be back after the new year for the January edition of this show. We'll continue to talk basketball, get into track and field, as well as we continue on with the winter sports season. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a happy holidays. And until next time, this has been Dan Flanagan. You've been watching Golden Bear Insider. It is a stream-powered production.